Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We did it again.
Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon Perna, and today I wanted to rehash the craziest thing we've ever seen on NFL Draft Day. Yes, I'm talking about the Laremy Tunsil gas mask Bong video that was posted to his own Twitter account the morning he was supposed to be drafted top 5 back in 2016. Tunsil just inked a massive extension with the Texans. So spoiler, this is a redemption story. And it's not just the Bong video that's crazy. Tunsil's journey through the NFL has been a success as a player, but also via his trade from Miami to the Texans in 2019, he's become quite possibly the most impactful player ever traded in the NFL based on the sheer number of players and picks his move generated. Today we will go balls deep into Tunsil, not to be confused with tonsils. I hate when my dentist does that. And I'll uncover some really interesting things you may have forgotten about this entire situation. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. If I get to 500,000 subs, I do the gas mask video. Today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh, and with my code That'sGood60, you're gonna get 60% off plus free shipping. That's an incredible discount to try something I use regularly. HelloFresh is actually cheaper than shopping at the grocery store. I'm not sure if you've noticed lately, but egg prices are basically more expensive than a franchise QB. Personally, I love HelloFresh because I can be brain dead from a lack of sleep and working too much and still cook chef-crafted dinners for my family without using my brain, since HelloFresh gives you step-by-step instructions for every meal. And if you like improvising when you cook, you're still able to do so. If you're following a specific eating plan, you can customize your meals by swapping proteins or sides or adding proteins and veggies to any dish with options for organic chicken and organic beef upgrades. I made this chicken pasta in about 35 minutes on my busiest workday of the week and on just 4 hours of sleep. I literally picked the worst day to record this promo, but it was a breeze because HelloFresh is a foolproof meal. For effortless meals, go to HelloFresh.com and again, use my code That'sGood60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Hopefully after you cook for your family, they don't relegate you to the kids' table. Let me smoking in a man today. Now, I've been thinking about this since last week when Laremy Tunsil became the highest paid lineman in the NFL once again. I thought I'd revisit the Tunsil Draft Day gas mask Bong video, his massive trade from Miami to Houston, and how he turned one of the shittiest attempts at sabotage into an NFL career that has generated himself $70 million in career earnings, with $60 million more in guarantees coming via his latest extension. If he plays out the life of this new deal, he will have made close to $164 million by the end of 2026. That's basically enough money to start a chemical warfare, which would require actual use of a gas mask. Now, if you don't remember or just aren't familiar with Tunsil's draft day debacle, let me retell one of the greatest tales in NFL history. Tunsil was a premier tackle coming out of Ole Miss. He didn't allow a single sack during his 2015 final season with the Misses. That's what they call Ole Miss players, right? He was easily projected as a top 5 to top 10 pick, and before it became clear the Rams and Eagles were trading up to the 1 and 2 spots for Goff and Wentz, Tunsil was thought as a possible number 1 overall pick. Now, before the gas mask video was even leaked, Tunsil had a couple off-field issues arise that had some teams questioning him a little bit. He was suspended in 2015 for 7 games for receiving free shit as a college athlete. 7 games because he accepted a free rental car and plane ticket. To which I say, fuck the NCAA. Free car rental? Why were the cops not called? Also, he allegedly took some money from a coach or someone, was trying to, help his mom pay rent. That sick son of a bitch. Tunzel and his stepfather also filed charges against each other after an altercation that led to Tunzel being arrested. Those charges were eventually dropped. Then, a teammate and another eventual first-round pick, Robert Kimdiche, threw Tunzel under the bus at the NFL Combine. 2016 was a wild draft, as Kimdiche was also under the character microscope after he fell out of a 4th-story window from an Atlanta hotel.
Higher Regency Buckhead, someone fell off of a building. I don't know if he's alert. No, he didn't seem coherent. He seems like he was delirious.
The worst downfall in Atlanta until about 9 months later. Now, Kimdiche suffered some cuts, fell 15 feet, but was eventually fine. He issued a public apology on Twitter, but drew some red flags because he was most likely high when he fell. Honestly, I would hope so. From the Atlanta police report, they found, get this, 7 rolled marijuana cigarettes in the hotel room. Now, he denied using the marijuana cigarettes. Suck it, McCockiner. But the photo under this tweet may suggest different, as would him officially being charged with possession. But at the Combine, Kimdiche basically fucking snitched during a press conference admitting that Tunzel was in the room with him before he fell and that Tunzel was just drunk. And that there were drugs in the room, but they weren't Kimdiche's. So ipso facto, pinning it all on his teammate. Kimdiche was taken by a promising Cardinals team fresh off the NFC title game at pick 29 and turned into a massive bust. Just 4.5 sacks for him in 3 seasons, with the Cardinals only starting him in 6 games. He's now trying to resurrect his career in the USFL for the Michigan Panthers. Snitches get spring league football, Kimdiche. But I hope you can find your way back to the NFL. Now, at the time, nobody knew that Tunzel was with him. So Tunzel now has a suspension, an arrest/domestic dispute with his stepfather, and also linked to weed use. Then on draft day, the infamous video of Tunzel hitting a bong through a gas mask premiered via Tunzel's own Twitter. He was apparently hacked by his former financial advisor. In terms of financial advice, I'd say that's bad advice, like really bad financial advice, as that man cost Tunzel roughly $12 million after he fell to lucky spot 13 where the Dolphins drafted him. Now, Tunzel fired the financial advisor before the draft, and then that man allegedly, in a fit of rage, tried to sabotage Laramie by posting that video directly to his Twitter.
So talk to us, what the heck happened with that whole video and everything, man?
Man, somebody hacked my account, man. I made that mistake, several years ago. And somehow somebody got my photos and hacked my Twitter account. And apparently somebody just hacked my Instagram account. So, man, it's getting crazy.
That's why burying your money in a tin can is a better option than hiring a shady financial advisor. Imagine being such a petty little bitch. You hold on to that video just long enough to use it against someone who trusted you. And here I was thinking people in the financial sector were upstanding characters. Boy, my world has been shattered today. Now, we don't know how high Laramie Tunzel would have ultimately been drafted, but the Ravens did reveal they completely removed him from their draft board when that video came out. Knowing that alone instantly cost Tunzel $7 million, because with their pick, instead, the Ravens selected Ronnie Stanley at 6. So for the Ravens, that worked out. The Titans drafted right tackle Jack Conklin, and then Tunzel was the 3rd tackle taken by the Dolphins at 13. I think both of those teams would rather have had Tunzel, but a team like the Ravens would never enable any sort of wrongdoing, would they? Tunzel came in, played at left guard for the Dolphins, then was moved to his natural spot at tackle in 2017. 2018, he played like a top 10 pick, allowing just 2 sacks all season, elevating his value for Miami to trade him to the Houston Texans in one of the most famous trade hauls in NFL history. history. Even though this trade happened all the way back in 2019, Tunzel is the reason the Dolphins have the dynamic team they currently have right now. The Dolphins sent Tunzel to the Texans and received a 2020 and a 2021 first round pick, a 2021 second round pick, and players Julian Davenport and Johnson Batamosi. And a key part of this story at this moment is, of course, former Texans head coach and GM Bill O'Brien, who pulled the trigger on this trade. This trade happened a year before O'Brien, traded away DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson. But even at the time, the price for Tunzel seemed a bit steep. I do admire Bill O'Brien, though, making an aggressive move to protect young QB Deshaun Watson. Unfortunately for Bill, he was fired 2 seasons after that trade, and ultimately, he would have needed to trade for a high-powered attorney if he really wanted to protect Watson. Now, the Texans did get a 4th and 6th round pick in addition to Kenny Stills in this trade, but it was the beginning of the end for Bill O'Brien in Houston. Incredible that he was able to duck the Brock Osweiler contract, but he got himself fired trading his top 3 receiver for nothing. Now, trying to track all of the picks that those picks generated is like trying to solve a cold case. If I mentioned every player and every pick that was generated, I'd literally turn into the Charlie Day meme. Essentially, Tunzel helped the Dolphins acquire 10 players and a 5th round pick in 2 years. Those players include Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. They helped the Chiefs have one of their best drafts since Mahomes via the Tyreek Hill trade. Fuck you for that, Tunzel. Finally, a good draft for those guys, because they really needed it, the poor poverty Chiefs. Miami then sent the Chiefs 5 total picks for Tyreek Hill, which I believe turned into Trent McDuffie, Sky Moore, and then one of their middle round guys after more draft day trades for the Chiefs. Tunzel helped the 49ers draft Trey Lance as Miami dealt that 3rd overall pick, which they received from Houston. When you think about it, and the video on the screen right now is showing everything that has come from the Tunzel trade, all of these moves were made possible by a bong. The best thing weed has done since help relieve cancer patients from pain. Tunzel's helped rebuild the Dolphins. He helped the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, and if Trey Lance ever pans out, maybe he'll be responsible for future 49ers success.
The 49ers sent Miami their 12th overall pick, 1st and 3rd round picks in 2022, and the 2023 first round pick,
while also becoming a cornerstone of the Texans' offensive line to protect whoever they take at number 2. And knowing the Texans, that'll probably be Stanford quarterback Tanner McKee. Oh shit, wait, Tunzel was protecting Davis Mills, who was able to make that Hail Mary touchdown in Week 18 to give Houston a better record than the Bears. So in a way, he's also responsible for rebuilding the Bears. Also, Cocaine Bear was an ad next to this picture of Tunzel in an article I was reading. I just thought that was funny. Now, I don't think a single player in NFL history has netted so many new picks and players for multiple franchises. Laramie Tunzel returning to the Texans is a major reason Texans fans should have some optimism with this rebuild. Not only did Tunzel survive the most notorious sabotage attempt in draft history, he turned into one of the best tackles in the game on one of the worst teams. He allowed just 1 sack last season in Houston. When you adjust for inflation, that's the equivalent of 0.01 sacks on any other team. Tunzel eventually tried to sell his gas mask video as an NFT. I couldn't find if it actually sold or what he got from it, but his intention was to use some of those proceeds for the Last Prisoner Project to support people who have been incarcerated for cannabis. And to a lesser extent, players who have had their draft stock affected by cannabis. A move I commend, but his bigger charity effort may have been committing to the Texans, even if they made him the highest paid tackle in the NFL twice.
As my role in this team, I view myself as the X factor for this whole entire team, the X factor and a mentor for the young guys, the Jalen Petries, the Damian Pierce, the King Greens. I view myself as a mentor, like a captain role. I want to help those guys in any way that I can. And whenever they need me, they can hit me up if they got any questions, they can hit me up. Like, I'm here for those guys. I'm here for this team. I'm here to contribute to the team and help them win games also.
Shout out Laramie Tunzel. You got my respect. Please subscribe here on YouTube and share this video. Like it. Again, if I get to 500,000 subs, I do the gas mask video. Joke's on you. Nobody will subscribe here that many times.